Two teenage girls walk a popular hiking trail in small-town Indiana. By nightfall, they vanished. The only clue? A chilling voice captured on a cell phone saying just 3 words, "Down the hill." Years later, police arrest a local man. But is he really the killer, or just the latest suspect in a case filled with twists, secrets, and heartbreak? Hello everyone. Welcome to the Serial Crime Chronicles for newcomers to this channel. If you love true stories, this channel was made for you. We post true crime stories they thought they buried every day. If this interests you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you always get the latest content. Your support means a lot. Don't forget to hit the like button. As I've told you before, the like button is a simple gesture for you, but for me it's something huge because it helps YouTube know that people like my content and shows it to more new people. So please don't forget to support me by hitting that like button. In this true crime series, we're diving deep into one of America's most haunting unsolved murders, the Delphi murders, and the man now at the center of it, Richard Allen. You'll hear how 2 bright, outgoing girls became the focus of a nationwide manhunt, the evidence investigators have revealed, the shocking arrest, and the unanswered question that still divides Delphi. Did Richard Allen do it, or not? It's February 13th, 2017, in Delphi, Indiana. A tight-knit community of just under 3,000 people, known for its historic charm, small businesses, and quiet Midwestern life. The Monon High Bridge Trail, once an old railroad track, has become a favorite spot for hikers, photographers, and teens looking for a scenic escape. That Monday, schools were closed for an unused snow day, and for Libby German, 14, and her best friend Abigail Abby Williams, 13, it was a perfect chance to enjoy the warm winter afternoon. They had dropped off by Libby's older sister at around 1:35 p.m., chatting, laughing, and taking pictures. The bridge is 63 feet high, worn from decades of disuse, with gaps between the wooden planks that make every step feel a little daring. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary until it was. By 5:30 p.m., when their families expected them home, the girls hadn't returned. Calls went unanswered. A quick search of the trail turned into a frantic, coordinated effort involving police, firefighters, and dozens of townspeople combing the woods with flashlights. That night ended with no sign of Libby or Abby. But by the next day, February 14th, the search turned into something far darker. Just after noon, volunteers discovered 2 bodies less than half a mile from the bridge. Authorities quickly confirmed the unimaginable. The bodies belonged to Libby and Abby. But investigators have never released exactly how the girls died, citing the need to protect the case. What they did share would haunt the public for years. Libby's phone, found with her body, contained an image of a man walking toward the girls on the bridge, wearing blue jeans, a blue jacket, and a brown hoodie. Grainy but unmistakable, his posture and pace suggested determination. Even more chilling was a short audio clip recorded on her phone, a deep male voice saying, "Guys, down the hill." This was the first confirmed glimpse of the suspect, and the public would come to know him only as Bridge Guy. Police released the image and the audio to the public, asking anyone with information to come forward. But in a town where almost everyone knew everyone else, the identity of Bridge Guy remained mystery. Tips flooded in, over 18,000 in the first few weeks alone. Theories range from a random drifter passing through town to someone in the girls' social circle. The FBI joined the investigation, offering a $50,000 reward. Then, 2 years in, a shocking development. Investigators released a new sketch of the suspect. This version looked dramatically younger than the original, with a clean-shaven face and no hat. Police urged the public to focus on the new image, saying it represented the person they believed committed the murders. The change fueled speculation. Did police have new evidence? Were they looking at an entirely different suspect? And most unsettling, had the killer been living among them the entire time? In interviews, detectives hinted that the suspect was likely hiding in plain sight. That theory kept tensions high in Delphi. Some residents began to look at their neighbors differently. Years passed without an arrest. The trail went cold, or so it seemed. But behind the scenes, investigators were piecing together what they called a bulletproof case. Then, on October 26, 2022, news broke. Police had arrested 50-year-old Richard Allen, a CVS pharmacy worker who had lived in Delphi for over a decade. Married, with a quiet reputation, Allen seemed an unlikely suspect. In a press conference, law enforcement revealed little about the evidence. They confirmed he'd been charged with 2 counts of murder, but offered no motive, no murder weapon, and no clear connection to the girls. The arrest shocked Delphi. Neighbors described Allen as friendly, even helpful. Some recalled he had developed photos for locals at the CVS. The idea that Bridge Guy might have been the man behind the counter for years was hard to reconcile. As Richard Allen sat in jail awaiting trial, prosecutors insisted they had strong evidence tying him to crime. But without public access to that evidence, many in Delphi and across the country were left asking, what exactly did they find? And was this really the man in Libby's final photo? To keep up with this series and even more interesting true crime stories that never came to light until now, hit the red subscribe button. Now back to the story. This is where we dig into the investigation, the bullet evidence, and the defense's shocking oddness cult theory, while keeping the suspense alive. When police arrested Richard Allen for the Delphi murders, they claimed they had the evidence to prove he was Bridge Guy. But as the details emerged, the case became more puzzling than ever, involving a single bullet, conflicting witness reports, and a defense theory that sounds like something out of a true crime thriller. When Allen was arrested in October 2022, the public wanted answers. Police had kept the investigation so tightly sealed for years that almost no one outside law enforcement knew how close they were to making an arrest. But when the probable cause affidavit was finally released, heavily redacted, the centerpiece of the prosecution's case became clear. A .40 caliber unspent bullet found between the girls' bodies. According to investigators, this bullet had been cycled through a SIG Sauer pistol owned by Richard Allen. Ballistics experts claim the markings on the cartridge matched Allen's gun to a scientific certainty. Here's the kicker. Allen had reportedly admitted to being on the Monon High Bridge Trail the afternoon the girls disappeared. He told police he'd gone to watch fish and left before the girls arrived. But cell phone records, witness accounts, and the timeline suggest otherwise. 2 witnesses told police they'd seen a man dressed like Bridge Guy walking the bridge that day. Another recalled a muddy, bloody man walking away from the trail hours later. For prosecutors, the combination of Allen's admitted presence, the bullet, and the witness descriptions painted a damning picture. But Allen's defense team had other ideas. First, they questioned the reliability of the bullet evidence. The field of firearm identification, matching bullets or cartridges to specific guns, has faced criticism from some scientists who argue it's not as exact as prosecutors claim. Second, they argue there was no DNA, no fingerprints, and no eyewitness who could positively identify Allen as a man on the bridge. Then came their most explosive claim. The murders were committed by members of a white supremacist pagan group known as Oddinists, and police were ignoring that theory. The defense pointed to alleged ritualistic elements at the crime scene. While most details remained sealed, they claimed sticks and branches were arranged in a symbolic pattern near the girls' bodies, a supposed reference to Norse mythology. According to the defense, several known Oddinists in the area matched the physical description of Bridge Guy and had violent criminal histories. Yet, they claim police failed to properly investigate them. They also allege that at least one witness had overheard Oddinist members talking about the murders in detail only the killer could know. Prosecutors have dismissed the Oddinist theory as baseless, saying it's a distraction from the real evidence against Allen. The back and forth in court filings has turned the Delphi case into a national spectacle. On one side, grieving families desperate for justice, believing police have finally caught the right man. On the other, defense attorneys painting Allen as a scapegoat caught in the web of a flawed investigation. The pressure is immense. If Allen is convicted, he could face life in prison, or the death penalty. If he's acquitted, it would send shockwaves through the community and leave the real killer free. And through it all, the haunting voice from Libby's phone, "Guys, down the hill," still echoes in the public's mind. The trial promises to reveal more than ever before about what happened on that trail in February 2017. But with gag orders, sealed evidence, and mounting conspiracy theories, one question remains. Will the truth about Libby and Abby's killer finally come out? Or will this case remain one of America's most chilling unsolved mysteries? To keep up with this series and even more interesting true crime stories that never came to light until now, hit the red subscribe button. Now back to the story. The Delphi murders case is moving toward a trial that could answer a question haunting America for years. But what if the truth never comes out? With shocking court twists, emotional family testimony, and a suspect who insists is innocent, the ending to this story might not be the one you expect. From the moment Allen's attorneys floated the oddness theory, the court has been a battlefield. Prosecutors accuse the defense of trying to muddy the waters with fantastical claims to create reasonable doubt before the trial even begins. They maintain that the bullet evidence, timeline, and Allen's own admissions are enough to secure conviction. The defense counters that police tunnel vision led to the wrong man being charged, and they file motions demanding access to every scrap of evidence about alternative suspects. Tensions boiled over when sensitive crime scene photos were allegedly leaked online by a defense team employee. The images, showing graphic details of the murders, were widely condemned by both sides and resulted in the removal of some members of Allen's legal team. In the months since his arrest, Allen's attorneys have raised alarms about his mental and physical condition in jail. They claim he is being kept in near isolation, lost a dangerous amount of weight, and is showing signs of mental decline. In one filing, they even suggested his deteriorating state was making it impossible for him to participate in his own defense. Prosecutors deny mistreatment, saying the precautions are for Allen's safety given the high-profile nature of the case. Through it all, Allen has pleaded not guilty and says he had nothing to do with the murders. For the families of Libby and Abby, the legal back and forth is agonizing. They've sat through years of false leads, internet speculation, and now a looming trial that may finally bring answers, or more uncertainty. In public statements, they thank law enforcement for their work, but also express a deep pain of not knowing if the man accused will actually be proven guilty. For Delphi's residents, the case has split the community. Some believe Allen is without a doubt Bridge Guy, finally caught after 5 long years. Others aren't so sure, pointing to a lack of DNA evidence and the defense's alternate suspect theory. With a gag order in place, much of the real evidence remains under wraps. Rumors swirl online, some based on fact, others pure speculation. There's talk of new witnesses, hidden recordings, and even undisclosed forensic evidence. But until the trial, none of it will be confirmed. Legal experts say the prosecution's case will likely hinge on 3 things: the bullet and ballistics testimony, a witness sightings that place Allen near the crime scene, the chilling audio and video from Libby's phone. The defense, meanwhile, will hammer away at the reliability of the ballistics, the possibility of contamination, and the idea that someone else, possibly linked to Oden's beliefs, committed the murders. This isn't just about whether Richard Allen goes free or spends the rest of his life in prison. It's about whether Libby and Abby's families ever get the justice they've waited years for. If Allen is convicted, some will breathe a sigh of relief. If he's acquitted, it will mean starting from square one and the possibility that a killer has been hiding in plain sight all along. For now, the town of Delphi remains in limbo, trapped between grief and hope, waiting for the day the courtroom doors finally open. The trial date is set, but as with so many high-profile cases, delays are always possible. Every new motion, every leaked document, every whispered rumor adds another layer to a story that's already full of heartbreak and suspicion. So, did Richard Allen do it? Right now, that's a question only 12 jurors will be asked to answer, and even then, the truth might be more complicated than anyone expects. Until the verdict comes down, one fact remains. 2 young girls lost their lives on a quiet trail in Delphi, and the search for absolute truth continues. What do you think? Does the bullet tie Allen to the crime beyond any doubt, or could the defense be right about an entirely different suspect? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to share this with someone who's been following the Delphi case. Like, comment, and subscribe to the Serial Crime Chronicles, where every crime has a witness, and every truth will be told for more true crime stories. See you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.